What's happening, Fresh Baked? We're back here with some more news for you. It's a busy news week today, so let's get right into it real quick. We talked about last week when we were discussing the success of Beauty and the Beast that Mulan was coming. That was one of the upcoming live-action adaptations that they were doing or updates, but they said it was not going to be a musical. But they may have changed their mind, Fresh Baked, because Beauty did so well. The monumental success of Beauty and the Beast has, I guess, caused them to rethink. Well, I don't know if they're rethinking it so much as they're backtracking off their previous statement. They're saying, hey, we never said it was not going to be a musical. What are you talking about? That's crazy. Nothing's off the table. And I agree it shouldn't be, because Mulan is a musical to me, and it should have music. And I can't imagine a Mulan film without reflections or I'll Make a Man Out of You or any of that stuff. That's great. That's great music in Mulan, and that's part and parcel of why Mulan was so good. So I hope they do maintain the musicality of Mulan. Okay, now I want to get into some Star Wars talk, because there's a lot of it going around the net today, and a lot of it revolves around, or almost all of it revolves around Igers' recent comments. So a while ago, it was believed that the prequels were going to be the last new Star Wars stuff we'd ever get, at least in theaters. You know, we're still going to get the animated shows probably and things like that. But we thought that the prequels were going to be the last thing that we'd ever get to see, and it kind of left a bad taste in our mouth. And then Disney buys Lucasfilm, and we get Force Awakens and Rogue One and all kinds of other talk. And so the future is promising for Star Wars fans. And so it was that Iger was talking to people about Star Wars, and his comments were such that he says that there's a good 15 years of Star Wars films, in progress, not in progress necessarily, but they're talking about it, they're thinking about it, they're planning for films to go on for the next 15 years. And that includes what's upcoming, the next two sequels of the Skywalker saga and the Han Solo film, and there's another one that I can't remember. Is it a Bounty Hunter film I think they're doing? Yeah, I think it's the Boba Fett film. And I've heard in the past also that their goal was to do one a year, which they've maintained so far. We're getting one Star Wars film a year, and that's their goal, which suggests to me, minus the 4 films that we've already discussed, that we got 11 films to planned for in the next 15 years for Star Wars. That is incredible. That is incredible. Now, Iger didn't go into it. He didn't say what those films were or what the actual plans were. But if there is 10 or 11 films coming up, do you want to see more of the Skywalker saga? I guess that's my question. Is that what they're planning? Are they planning parts 10, 11, and 12? Because all along, Star Wars fans have been we've had it in our head. Hey, there's supposed to be 9 films. There's supposed to be, the middle 3. Then they did the prequels. And by the way, there's also this whole thing going on with the following 3 where it was supposed to be the son of Han Solo and Princess Leia that was the actual savior of the galaxy, which, well, it looks like we're heading that direction but it's Kylo. Kylo, the emo Jedi. It's going to save the world. But yeah, so do you want more of this saga, or do you just want more spin-offs? Do you want is there going to be a whole nother, saga that we get to look forward to? Characters that are completely separate from Skywalker or Han Solo or, that kind of thing. Or maybe, something from a galaxy that's far, far, far away. Maybe, would that be cool if there was a TV show inside of Star Wars that people watched about another space opera that was occurring in that galaxy far, far, far away? I think I just broke my head. Now, okay, going on. Iger also mentioned specifically details about, well, I don't know if they're details about the Han Solo film. He said, we're going to find out how he met Chewie. We're going to find out how he got the Millennium Falcon, which we already know, so hopefully they don't deviate from that too much with the whole gambling thing with Lando. And then we're also going to find out why he's called or named Han Solo, which I'd be good if his name, when he was born, said, welcome, son of the world, your name is Han Solo. I would be fine with that. I don't need anybody to come up with a clever nickname for him. I hope we're going to get that, it sounds like, but I'd be good. If you're listening, Lucasfilm, guys who write this stuff, don't overthink the room. There was, in that same article, they were discussing, no, this is a different article, Rogue One. I'm going to go off track here real quick. Oh my God, I'm going to try to ad-lib this whole thing. I read an article about Rogue One, and they said they really had to restrain themselves from making a bunch of callbacks to the original trilogy and showing a bunch of characters and things like that, and constantly winking and doing fan service to the audience. and they had to pull back and restrain to the point where we only got basically 2 characters, Walrus Man and the other guy whom I can't think of, kind of just walking around. Which I'm grateful for, because I don't want that. And us fans don't want that. We do want a little fan service, but not in the sense that you think we want it, I think. And you tend to overthink things in that regard. And I would rather see some more restraint. So if you're listening, you did good on the Rogue One thing by not going too far with the fan service and all the winking and the nodding. And I would like to do the same for the Han Solo film. And I don't need... Please don't put C-3PO and R2-D2 in the Han Solo film. Please don't do that. We're good on the C-3PO and R2-D2 references in every single film. I know you guys got to keep these guys working because they can't get jobs elsewhere. But, go make an animated series or something. Go give them their own movie. I don't know. But please, no C-3PO or R2-D2 in Han Solo. Ben Kenobi, he says in Star Wars, I don't remember ever owning a droid. Oh, really? Really, Ben? Really? You don't remember the prequels where, in fact, R2 followed you everywhere? You don't remember that? Okay, I'm going to get off my soapbox. Let's get back to the news. There's more from Iger. He also was talking about virtual reality and saying that Disney or Disneyland would be augmented, but never virtual. And by that, I guess he means the kind of thing that they're doing right now at Knott's Berry Farm and Six Flags and SeaWorld, where they actually have, there's a roller coaster where you wear a VR headset. What's scarier than real life, you guys, honestly? So he said they're not going to go virtual reality, which thank you very much, Bob, for that. I appreciate that very much. However, shouldn't that include simulators? Because there's nothing augmented about a simulator. Star Tours is a box with a TV screen in it. That's virtual reality, if you ask me. So I don't, and obviously, Avatar is going to have a simulator to fly on the Na'vi, and the Millennium Falcon. Now, hopefully, the Millennium Falcon, the fact that we're boarding an actual Millennium Falcon and we get to do stuff inside will help to, alleviate that virtual sense and get augmented, as it were. But I would like to see them pull the reins back even more on the whole virtual stuff, the simulators. I'm not a big fan of simulators, and it's a cheap way to get around stuff. And I sure hope that once again, Bob, that you're listening. in my own little dreams, I imagine that Disney does watch all these videos. Just in case, you're doing great work, Bob. I'm glad that you're re-up for another couple years. But what are we gonna do when Bob retires for real, for good? Who's gonna? Oh my gosh. Anyway, again, I've gotten off track. Let's get back to the news. Speaking of Pandora, I have read an article from the Disney Parks blog that this is going to be the first place where they're going to implement technology where you can order your food and pay for it on your phone using the Disney app, or I don't know if it's the Magic Band or the Disney app or a combination of both, but you can order it and pay for it, and then you can tell the phone, I'm here now, I'm at your location, can you please give me my food? And they'll say, here's your food. It's all taken care of. There's a separate window for it and everything. That is cool. And I've often railed against my Magic, the Magic Bands, and the Disneyland app in terms of what they're planning to do with Fast Passes. I don't want them knowing that much about me. I don't want them knowing where I am all the time, that kind of thing. But this kind of thing, this is what a Disneyland app is for. This is what a Magic Band is for. I cannot think of any negatives to this idea of being able to order my food on my phone and then tell it when I'm here, so that they'll even keep it fresh. You know what I'm saying? They'll make it fresh for you. So, just tell them you're here in like 5 minutes before, and then there's your food. You don't have to wait in any lines. That's great. The only question that I have as far as this is concerned is, are we ahead of the curve or behind the curve on this? Now, I mentioned this because recently we went to dinner at Olive Garden, and we don't go out to a restaurant of this type very often, so I don't know if this has been there for a while or not, but we were able to order our appetizers and pay for our meal using a little iPad thing that they have at the table. It was just sitting there the whole time, and we could have played games and looked at the menu and done all that the whole time while we're there. And I thought that was pretty neat. It was a big time saver, because how often are you just sitting there waiting for your check, right? Anyway, now that's something that I'd like to see more of in restaurants. And hopefully, is that the direction that we're going? Or should we expect to see that at a Disney restaurant? I wonder though if the whole technology thing. Do you put it in the table or whatever? Because those things seem like they could just vanish. But I digress. People do crazy things. This is a good thing, and I don't think it'll be long before we see it permeate into all of the parks at Disneyland. Once it succeeds because this is happening in Pandora only so far. Obviously they were able to put that in advance. They don't have to go back and reinstall stuff like they would have to do at a restaurant at Disneyland. And I am officially rambling in the news. I would expect this to follow to Disneyland soon. And I'm looking forward to this. This is an idea. This is some tech that I can really get behind, I think. And that's it, you guys, for the news this week. I want to hear from you, though, because I want to know if you want to know how Han Solo got his name. I want to know if you care at all about how Han Solo got his name. I want to know if you want this kind of tech, the food ordering tech at Disneyland in the parks. I want to know if you want to see more of the saga, of the Skywalker saga, parts 10, 11, and 12, or do you want to see a whole new galaxy being explored, a whole new world being developed? Is that your cup of tea? Let me know in the comments below, you guys, and I appreciate you watching Fresh Baked News today, and we'll see you next week sometime. Bye, guys. Fresh Baked. Fresh Baked. Good day. Oh, that last sounded terrible. Last week we talked about the success of Beauty and the Beast, and because I think that it's just it. I'm just